November 38, Alpha Kilo, Cockpitbuilders.com, live on Twitch. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Really good to see you guys. Happy Sunday night it is. We're sitting on the ground in Telluride, and we're going to make our way to Bakersfield Meadows Regional Airport. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy us and have a good evening. If everybody's doing well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go on our way to Bakersfield.
Good afternoon, Eagle County Ground, KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo. We're at the ramp ready for taxi, runway 25. We'll take the apron, Alpha 3, Alpha, runway 25, hold short, KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo. Clear to Ottawa, Leicester 2, runway 6 left, 0544, KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo. Clear land, runway 7, KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo.
Good evening, everybody. November 38, Alpha Kilo, Cockpitbuilders.com, live on Twitch. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Sunday. Unfortunately, most of us have to go back to work and other activities tomorrow, and hopefully that is going to be okay. Not really a big fan of looking forward to going to work, but we're going to do the best we can. Happy Sunday to everybody, and a big welcome to everybody that's joining us. So we've got Drone for sure coming with us for the flight, maybe even Master Chief Pilot. It shouldn't be so bad. Flight order, thank you very much for reminding me to change it from GTA 5. That was from last night when we were going in to stream GTA 5, and then we crashed on the entry, and it was 2 hours almost to the minute before we got in, and then it was too late to stream it, so we just decided we'd hang out with our friend I Destroy Fish Sticks. If you guys don't know I Destroy Fish Sticks, please do me a favor and go over and give that man a follow on Twitch. He is a hilarious streamer, a hilarious GTA RPer, and check out the video from last night because it was a lot of fun. We ended up, good old Chester drove into the fuel pumps and exploded the van. That was definitely something interesting, that's for sure. Yeah, Scotty, thanks for pointing that out. Thanks, man. You're the best. Eric, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Nidrag, happy Sunday to you. Yeah, 2 hours it took me to get in last night, and just as Charlie was getting off, I finally got in. I couldn't believe it took me so long to get in. The train was long last night for sure. Really good to see you guys. Thanks very much for hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and get this thing running. About 2.5 hours gate to gate. It shouldn't be too bad. The sooner we get in the air, the sooner we get to the destination. So without further ado, let's get a pushback and we'll get these engines running. Get this gentleman to come over and give us a push, and when he hooks up, we'll disconnect the nose wheel pin and the parking brakes. Yes, Scotty, no water. Mistaken identity. Mistaken identity. Wouldn't be the first time I had mistaken identity. Definitely not. No, I have not tried Volanta. Don't even know what it is, so that's new to me. Never even heard of it. All right, we're going to be on the CTAF 123.0. 123.0. There's 123.0. Yes, Scotty, I'm sure you did have to say it. All right, we're pushing back now, and there's an aircraft to our right. Hopefully it'll be okay. We need to be pushed back far enough that we can see where the hell we're going. Manila, Wolf. How are you, sir? That fence is causing some interesting issues with the graphics. Just about good there. A little bit further, I think. And then we can hang a lefty. Do flight simmers often get actual pilot's license? Yes, I would say majority of people for sure do this to keep current, especially during COVID times. And they also do it because it's actually cheaper. I gave about $12,000 to a flight school 20 years ago. And I did 1 hour of flight training to get my pilot's license. The company went bankrupt, took all my money with me, and I said, well, I'm not doing that again. Plus, then I started looking into it, and I realized it's a lot cheaper to build the flight simulators. I can fly as much as I want, I can drink as much as I want, and I can do whatever I want, and it's not too bad. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get the Pratt & Whitneys fired up. We're clear on the left, and we're clear on the right. So, batteries on, nav lights, beacon lights coming on, the seatbelt signs are on, parking brake is set, props are all the way forward, and here we go with number 2. We've got ignition start and 1 rotation. ITT's rising, oil pressure's coming up. The oil pressure light will go off at 40 psi. Fuel pressure looks good. There's 9.5, and the turbine's starting to spin through 12.5, and goes the fuel. Yeah, actually,
Premier November 54 Delta Charlie, radio check.
Ooh, radio check 5x5, sir, in a premiere tonight. I'm very jealous. Through 45% and 1, and climbing EGT, and the ITT's good. Off goes the start. Master caution. Who's going to get out and push? Depends, roundabout. If Spencer's around, we were going to push that ambulance last night. If Chester hadn't driven into those fuel pumps, we would have been okay. It was funny because Spencer and I could not contain ourselves. I couldn't even speak. I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. All right, that engine's going up to high idle. Let's switch over to Gen 2. Generator 2's coming on. We got the load. We got the voltage. Looks pretty good to me. Battery charge amps are good. We're going to turn Gen 2 off. Master caution. He did lose it. So did I. It was so bloody funny. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, when I hit the gas pump, I just couldn't, and it was total by accident. I just couldn't contain myself. I was laughing so damn hard. All right, charge amps are still in the green. Everything looks good, and here we go with number 1. Let's go. We've got number 1, ignition start, and 1 rotation. ITT's rising. Oil pressure's coming up. Fuel pressure looks good. Oil pressure light is going out. Through 10.5, in goes Gen 2, and the prop is spinning. And through 12.5, in goes the fuel. They were rigged to blow. Somebody must have bumped them because they blew up way too easy, but it was just so funny. Man, that was so funny. All right, watching that ITT to make sure she doesn't go into the red. She can stay in the yellow or stay in the white. She cannot go into the red. As long as that, we got no hot start, no hung start. Starter disengaged at 50%, master caution. Both engines are coming to low idle. Switch over to Gen 1. Gen 1's coming on. We split the low with Gen 2. Gen 2 off. Gen 1 picks up the load, master caution. Gen 2 back on. Everything looks good to me. Avionics, pitot heat, windshield heat, prop heat, fuel heat, brake de-ice, auto feather, auto ignition all going on, bleeds and blowers all going on. Both engines going up to high idle and 1 notch of flap. Coffee pot's coming on for you guys. Make sure you get a nice warm pot of coffee. Yeah, I watched the VOD this morning from it, roundabout, and I pissed myself laughing twice as hard this morning, I think, as I did last night. It was super funny. All right, let's just do a quick after start checklist and before taxi, and once we got that, we should be okay. All right, electrical systems have been checked. Avionics master switch is on, interior master switch is on, master panel and caution lights are on, mic switches are both in, normal cabin lights are set. Furnishings are on. Is this display is correct. Exterior lighting is correct. Overspeed warning. We do the stall warning. EGPWS.
Pull up terrain. Don't sink. Too low. Gear. Glide slope. Minimums. Bank angle. 150. 40. 30. 20. 10. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear.
The overspeed warning has been tested. Environmental systems are good. Brake de-ice is good. Prop sync is on. TCAS 1 and TCAS 2 as well as TAWS has been tested. Flight and engine instruments are all matching 3038, 3038, 3038. We got blue over orange, and blue over green. We're good there. Flaps are set. Flight controls are free and correct. We're ready to go. We are ready to go before takeoff and final items. Thanks very much for the follow. Easy visuals. Good to see ya. Parking brake is off. Telluride traffic. KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo. We're going to taxi to runway 9 via Alpha backtrack 27 Telluride. All right. Parking brake is off. And we're rolling.
Telluride traffic, Premier November 54 Delta Charlie will be taxiing to runway 27 and holding.
Are you going to let me backtrack all the way and depart, and then you'll just do the same thing, drone, or do you want to convolate down at the other end?
No, I'm going to take off at 27 because the winds are favoring 27.
Yeah, the winds are favoring 27 for sure. I just want a beautiful departure. That's why.
You go right ahead. Oh, maybe I'll follow you. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Telluride traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo. We're entering runway 27, backtrack 409, departure Telluride. All right, landing lights are going on, strobe lights are going on. It's got quite the little bump in the middle of it. It feels like you only flew out of here a few weeks ago. See, that's the part that I don't quite get, to be honest. Scotty, this airport just doesn't look familiar to me. And I don't know why it doesn't look familiar, because I thought I had flown in and out of here as well. But man, oh man, oh man, it just doesn't look familiar to me at all. Either that or I was just too drunk the night that we flew in here and I couldn't remember. Easy visuals, KingAir 350i. This airplane was a real Beechcraft Model 99, serial number U158, 1974 vintage, and I completely tore it apart and converted it into a KingAir 350i. 100% a real airplane.
November 54 Delta Charlie is backtracking to 09.
Roundabout, you wish, dude. It's a hell of a hill going up. This mountain on the side of a hill is really entertaining. What's going up, Boeing Sky Pilot? Good to see you. That's a hell of a hill. I don't know, there might not be enough room to turn around up here. This will be interesting. Yep, I'm flying the KingAir in the game, absolutely.
I'll sneak by ya.
I know I do. The outside shell's in pretty rough shape. Well, it's in better shape than it was, but I washed it about 500 times. I just haven't scraped the old paint and put new paint on it, but it would be interesting to see. All right, let's see if I can spin around up here. Leave some room for a drone to get by.
Lots of room.
Coffee maker's on, Kev Sim Corner. All right, guys, let's stand on these things. Bleeds and blowers are going off. Quick before takeoff checklist. We've got engine auto ignition is on, anti-ice is on, exterior lights are as required. Ice protection is on, transponder is selected, prop levers are full forward, trim and flaps are all set, and away we go, folks. On our way to Bakersfield. Here we go. All right, let the engines stabilize. We've got two good engines. They're nice and happy. Brakes are released. Takeoff power is set. Governors kick in, and speed tape is alive and on both sides. That's checked. Telluride traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo rolling 09. Telluride. Don't take off into any gas bumps. Ain't that the truth? Whoops. Easy, easy, easy. 80 knots. Continue.
V1. Rotate. V2.
Pause brake. Gears coming up. Props back to 1600. Tap the brakes. Auto feather, auto ignition are going off. Cabin signs are going off. Landing lights are going off.
Telluride traffic, November 54 Delta Charlie is rolling for takeoff on runway 9, departing to the west.
Flaps are coming up.
Clear of conflict.
Bleeds and blowers are back on. TCAS, put that on. Yeah, going west anyways. I just wanted to do that nice turn. Straighten it out, you're spilling the fucking coffee? Yeah, isn't that the truth? All right. Windshield ice will stay on. Prop anti-ice can go off. Brake de-ice can go off. I just wanted to do that turn in front of the mountain, just because it's so beautiful through here. All right, let's keep the climb going. Prop torque's coming up. Yeah, exactly, Roundabout. That doesn't surprise me. It's beautiful. The cost of spilt coffee. Flight level 240 again tonight, guys, for the flight. Direct DVC now. Delta Victor Charlie. Charlie! We love Charlie. Telluride traffic, KingAir November 38 Alpha Kilo, switching to 123.45. Last call. Coming up on 16,000 feet. Oh wow, Scotty. I didn't even remember that at all. The airport just didn't look familiar. You're probably right. I probably do remember going in there. Airport did not look familiar at all to me. 18,000. Both sides going to standard. How's it going, Bryce? Good to see you. Put your hands together and welcome the most amazing streamer. Everybody put your hands together and welcome Mr. Ozzy in Space rating with a party of 22. How's she going, Ozzy? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to you and your viewers. Hopefully you're doing well, sir. What were you up to tonight, Ozzy? Were you doing some more on-air stuff or what? Absolutely awesome. Thanks, Oz. Appreciate it, dude. Well, welcome to all your viewers. Guys, we're on the way to Bakersfield Meadows Regional Airport. Out of Telluride, we just departed. We're on our way to Bakersfield. I know, Ozzy. You gotta hype you up somehow, dude. You're bringing in 20-some viewers, and dude, if you'd brought me one viewer, you would have got the same introduction. Absolutely love it. How were you guys doing on air? What were you up to, Oz? Yes, some on-air stuffs. Oh, everything's good with me, Oz. Just, you know, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I don't want to have to go to work. Gotta get up at 4 a.m. and that's not fun. Don't want to get up at 4 a.m. and go to work. Why can't we all just be independently wealthy? That's what I want to know. We should be able to be independently wealthy and not have to go to work. That's the way I look at it. You're 100% right. Weekend is never long enough. Really good to see you, bud. Thanks very much for the raid. Appreciate it. Guys, if you have any questions, jam in the chat. Don't hesitate to jam in the chat. We're always happy to answer your questions, no matter what we're up to. Maverick, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Well, if Dogecoin would ride that rocket to the moon, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about it. Hey, I hear SN9 should be launching maybe tomorrow. They got TFR set for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I guess. Let's hope that flies. The weekend is social construct. We can make it 10 days if we want. Wouldn't that be nice? The problem is none of us could afford to live if it was 10 days. We totally need to win the lottery. You know what the lottery is, though? The lottery is a tax on the poor. Eric, I believe they do have the FAA approval. They set up the TFRs for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I think. It's a product of mathematics and astronomical fact. Yes, it is definitely a product of mathematics, isn't it? Really good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Sunday. We're on our way to Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield Meadows Regional Airport. It should be a lot of fun, actually. Nice airport going into, maybe? Don't know. Haven't never seen it before. We're cruising at 24,000 feet, 332 over the ground. We got a 13-knot headwind, which isn't very nice, but we'll see how that goes. We're just 6.1 out of DVC, and then we're going to make the turn and go to Dicey. If the Earth wasn't flat. The Earth isn't flat. Super funny. Oh, flying into a blizzard in LaGuardia with Oz? That's funny. You know, the weather in California is a little nicer. It's definitely a little nicer. A lot of rock laying around, though. Did Oz complete all his flights successfully and not leave baggage or passengers somewhere that he wasn't supposed to? M251 Speed, thank you very much for the follow, sir. Cheers to you, Sim Corner. It's been a late, last night was a late night. It was damn near 2 o'clock in the morning when I got to bed. That wasn't very good. No problem, Oz. Thanks, buddy, again for the raid. Really appreciate it. Ozzy in space, everybody. If you don't follow Ozzy, please head over and give Ozzy a follow. Guys, the outside visuals provided by Fly Elise NG. Immersive Calibration Pro and Immersive Display Pro software allows you, with the ultimate license for about 480 euros, to connect up to 16 projectors. 16 projectors. We're running 3 projectors on our outside view. And we do the warping with the Immersive Calibration Pro software. And it allows the seamless integration of said warp. Amazing piece of kit software, and the technical support is amazing. Really quick to answer questions, always within 24 hours. If you guys definitely want to use a multi-projection setup, you need to go and invest in Immersive Display Pro software by Fly Elise. Boeing Sky Pilot, I'm using the 2070 Super is what I'm using, with 3 projectors and 2 monitors connected to it. So I'm using 5 outputs. The 3 projectors in my main 34-inch monitor are all running on the 4 on the GTX 2070 Super. And then I've got 1 monitor on the onboard. No, it's not bad at all. Running 5730 by 1080 resolution. We're on our way to Dicey, guys. 100 miles to Dicey. 242 indicated, 250 knots. Sorry, 356 knots over the ground. Glad to have you guys with us. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. We're making our way across the amazing blue sky into California. Bakersfield, to be exact. Meadows Regional in Bakersfield, California. Yeah, Maverick, definitely. It's not a huge garage, man. This thing's small. It's like 20 by 8. Well, interior dimensions are 20 by 8. It's probably like 22 by 10 or something like that. It's definitely not a huge garage. It's not even big enough you couldn't even put a car in here. Well, I suppose you could if the door was on one end, but the door is actually on the side of the building. It was set up for like a snowmobile or something like that originally. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. If you have any questions, jam them in the chat. We're always happy to answer your questions. We've got 528 miles to go. Estimated time en route, 1 hour, 23 minutes. We'll be on the ground. What a beautiful, calm, peaceful flight. Definitely no turbulence. It's kind of nice, actually. Clipping along pretty good. 356 over the ground with an 8-knot tailwind. It's kind of nice. Yeah, that's something, Maverick, I will add to this eventually. It is beautiful weather, isn't it, Drone?
Yeah, that too.
Why? What were you saying?
You have fake weather.
You have a fake flight simulator.
You're flying a game.
I'm flying a game in a real airplane. Touche, he's not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I'd love to install force feedback into the yokes. For sure I would. It would really, really be excellent to do that. You got a Cessna 152 at 15.5K right now? Wow, that's totally unrealistic. Totally unrealistic, I would think there. It has Jado, yeah, exactly. Brunner yokes. I'm pretty sure that guy makes them, but they're expensive, if they're the ones I'm thinking of. They're very expensive. But the thing is, I'd buy one just so I could rip the force feedback guts out of it and put them onto these yokes. Oh, really? Got nukes? I guess with oxygen, I guess you could go that high. I'm actually impressed by that. I never thought a 152 would go that high. I figured like 12.5. I've never heard of anybody flying one that high, mind you, but well, everything looks good. The engines are good. Fuel quantity is good. Fuel flows are good. Temperatures are good. Bleed air valves are open. Environmental bleed air is good. Yaw damper is on. It is now. You're supposed to fly a 152 from Phoenix to Anchorage this week, so doing a stress test in the sim before the real thing. Wow, that's going to be a hell of a flight. Yes, you'll definitely want to get it as high as you can. Use as little fuel as you can. Climb power is, sorry, the cruise power is set. Props are at 1600. Windshield anti-ice is on. Engine instruments we are monitoring. Cabin signs are off. Pressurization is checked and good. Lights are on and off as required. Auto feather is off, which is true. ECS mode is not required. Engine instruments are being monitored and the fuel gauges are being monitored. So the cruise checklist is complete. We'll keep our eyes out for the any ice that we might require. We're ready to go. Excuse me. Yawn, yawn, yawn. What is the METAR for? Make sure that so far, runway 30 right, I was expecting, which is going to match the METAR. Looks like it's going to be 301, 125. 125 plus, what's the distance here? 5 miles. So that's 5. That's an additional 7.3. So 12.3. 125 slash 12.3. And then I've got 19.7. Should give me those. And that gives us those ranges. Good evening, Gamer Pete. How are you tonight, sir? Love it when you use those emotes, guys. Absolutely awesome. Engine torque is good. Props. RPM is good. I'm doing good. I'm really doing well. Happy Sunday to you and your family, sir. Happy Chill Stream Sunday is what it is. For those of you that did not see I Destroy Fish Stick stream last night, you really got to go back and watch it. Probably about almost 2 hours in to the stream, I met up with Spencer. I finally got into the server. and we ended up blowing ourselves up. It was a shit ton of fun. Elo Monster, thanks very much for the follow. Glad to have you here. Thanks for being here, man. I'm running it on 3 computers. Got Nukes, thanks very much for the follow. 3 separate computers. So 1 for the outside displays, 1 for the interior glass displays, and 1 for the flight management computer in the middle center pedestal. Wow, airplane's performing pretty good here. I'm pretty impressed. 350 over the ground, guys. 245 indicated. Not too bad. No, I don't build them for anybody. Obviously, everything has a price. As long as the price is, you know, what it needs to be, sure, I would sell them. But, no, I build them just for myself as a personal hobby. It's not a business. It's just what I do for fun. I've been building them for 20 years. This is my 4th, and I've only ever sold 1. The 737 I had, I sold to a flight school in Stockholm, Sweden. Yeah, it's not bad, man. I enjoy it. It just gives me something to do, stress relief, and I absolutely love flying this thing. I absolutely love flying it. I love getting in here and flying it and chatting with you guys while we're doing it. Is this the same setup used for the KingAir? You mean, like, yeah, if you look at the ProLine 21 on the KingAir 350i, it'll look very similar to this. About as close as I can get it. Elo Monster, it's the KingAir. That's why I'm flying the KingAir. If you even look at a Beechcraft Premier jet with the ProLine 21 and Premier 1 driver, flies one. It has the same sort of a gauge package. The only difference is his flight management computers are up here instead of in the pedestal. They're up in front of the throttle quadrant. And he has a couple of different panels that are right in this area. But very similar. And his radios, he doesn't have these radios here. The radios are just integrated in the flight management computer. No, this is the KingAir. That's all I fly is the KingAir. .351 over the ground now, 245 indicated, progress page shows 453 miles to go, estimated time en route 1 hour 12 minutes, we should be on the ground. About 8:45 give or take, Eastern. There's the flight plan for you. No problem at all. Well, guys, if you have any questions, jam in the chat. We're always happy to answer your questions. Otherwise, we're just sitting here listening to these Pratt & Whitneys. They sound gorgeous. A Sunday night chill stream. That's what this is, making our way to Bakersfield, California. It'd be a nice, it's a nice, relaxing little flight. Not too bad. Meadows Regional Airport in Bakersfield. How did you go about learning this? How could a noob get started? That's a really good question. If you head over to thegeekforge.com, Fess has some pretty good examples of how to interface switches to an Arduino card and get it to talk to Flight Sim. That's a good start. Maverick, I used the Simeonic PFD and MFD in the state level avionics panel and an X-Force PC with a 50-inch TV. That's pretty good, actually. Thanks, Disavowed. Appreciate that. A 50-inch TV is nice. Yep. YouTube and Google also really do help and offer some suggestions. You can head over to cockpitbuilders.com and you can read a bunch of other shit that goes on over there. You can find us on Instagram at CB_CockpitBuilders. You can get us on Twitter at CockpitBuilders, YouTube.com/CockpitBuilders, Twitch.tv/CockpitBuilders, or even CockpitBuilders.com. You can get a hold of us just about any way you want. He's just got the one example that he's got there. That's all you need to figure it out. That's the best one. Well, plus I gave you, Eric, I gave you an example as well. So you actually have two examples. Just crossing the border, not far, just south of Bryce Canyon. This is Bryce Canyon in front of us. We're going to cross right over that. Basically flying directly to Las Vegas. We'll go straight over the Las Vegas McCarran International Airport, and then we turn south to Bakersfield. Yeah, he's using something else though. He's using, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's using that out of the box software. I can't remember what it's called. Was it Mobi Flight? No, it's not that. SimVim, something like that. And I think he's using X-Plane, isn't he? Oh, he uses both? I wrote my own Got Nukes I wrote my own. I actually started doing it, and some people asked me for their code, for my code, and I gave it to them. And now a few people are doing it. Yeah, X-Plane has a better interface for being able to do failures. Definitely, you can do a lot more really cool things with X-Plane and failures than you can with P3D or 2020. But I've got 2020 flying pretty good now with the modifications I've made. Still have some tweaking to do to get it right where I want it to be, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Frito is next. After that, we're going to be going to Bethel. Oh, Eric, I wrote my own failure software. And as the SDK for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 gets updated more, I'll be able to add a lot more failures to it. I'm hoping they fix a couple of the issues that they do have with the existing SDK soon before I start messing too much with things. There is a couple of minor issues that I don't like that need to get fixed. But at least the nice part is I got the airplane flying pretty decently with it. But like I said, the few hours of screwing around and dicking around and try this and try that to get it to work to where I want it to be. No, I do not. You're actually supposed to turn that shit off. That was one of the things Enrico put in one of his announcements 100% is you had to make sure that was off or the plane was just about unflyable. I'm pretty sure I saw a post that he made with reference to that in the FSUIPC forum. Pretty sure I saw a post that he made in there that it had to be shut off. Okay, well maybe it's his version that you have to use and not some other fly-by-wire option in the config file. Because I remember a post that he had made, and in one of the config files for an aircraft, there was a fly-by-wire option, and I think it was in the main flight sim config or something. You had to turn one off, and then maybe it's his version of it you have to use. Because there was a fly-by-wire option in the default airplanes or in the default config file, and you had to turn it off. Yeah, okay, is that what it is? Okay. Delta Snake, thank you very much for the follow, sir. Welcome aboard. Good to have you here. But no, I do not use PM's fly-by-wire. I just edit I literally edit the crap out of the config files for this airplane. Literally edit the crap out of them, and edit the crap out of the FSUIPC INI file as well. And with all the editing that I do in it, I pretty much got things where I need them to be. Still a little bit of tweaking that needs to happen, but it feels like it flies a lot better. like that climb out that we just did at a Telluride, it was awesome. I felt fully in control of the airplane. Nice and smooth. Yeah, well, that's I mean, it's because at the end of the day, James, Microsoft presents you with a piece of shit, and you got one option. Two options. Number one, you can just leave it as it is and wait for somebody else to fix it, which I didn't have time for. Or you can do some trial and error shit and just fuck around with it until you can figure out what each option does in the config files. I'm still convinced they've got some of the portions of the config files locked down where even though you change them, I don't think it's legitimately changing anything. I'm hoping one day they will open some of those things up. But I wasn't going to accept that there was no way to make it fly properly. So between the adjustments in the FSU IPC INI and the adjustments in the aircraft config files, I've got it flying pretty good. I'm still not 100% think it's perfect, but it's pretty fucking good. Yeah, it takes time, James. It's just you gotta have some time to just sit there and try it. And the shitty thing is it's make a change, load the airplane, load flight sim, try it, it doesn't work. Shut the flight sim down completely, make a change, load the flight sim, try it. It's like painstakingly shoot yourself in the face, but it works. It didn't happen, got nukes. It didn't work. It says Boeing Sky Pilot, they say you can use development mode and just switch aircraft and shit like that, which you could have done with P3D. You could make a change, switch airplanes, switch back, and it was good. But I truly, from my initial experiments, that didn't work. It didn't actually completely reload the airplane. So the only way I do it when I'm testing now is I completely exit flight sim, make another change, and go all the way back in again. Eric, that is a really good question. There's limits to what you can set your sensitivities to, and there's limits to what you can assign your accesses to. But if you go into the INI file after you've set those up, you can change those limits outside of what you can do within Flight Sim. So it gives you a lot more granularity. Problem is, if you ever go back into calibration and click on any of those buttons, you'll fuck it all up. You got to start all over again. Yeah, so AC rain, for liveries it would work for sure. But when you're actually fucking around with all the aircraft config files, whether it be engines config or flight model config or all of those, I think that's where it has issues. It doesn't completely unload those out of memory and reload them, and I think that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, Boeing, that Sky Pilot, that is exactly it. Well, I mean, you could do that. For me, I just like to concentrate on what works and what doesn't. So I get, while the sim is loading, I'm already looking at the file to figure out what I'm going to change next if what I did doesn't work. Replica Gaming 2, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Really happy to see you hanging out tonight. Hopefully you're doing well, sir. I think AC rain, it's just for me, it's because I like to 100% ensure that there's nothing left, where if I make a change, it doesn't work. If you make 10 changes and they don't work, and then you find out that, oh shit, it's because it didn't unload out of memory properly, then, oh, you'd be starting all over again, because then you wouldn't know what worked and what didn't. I read forums, Eric. FSU IPC and Pete Dawson and John Dawson are great. And they actually announced the fixes when they released a new version of FSU IPC. They announced the changes in the documentation of the offsets. I'm actually, Replica, crossing my fingers that will not bork everything, but on the other hand, I'm really hoping they're going to fix a lot of things in this update. $500 bits from Boeing Sky Pilot. Thank you so much, James. Appreciate you being here, bud. That's awesome. I know where you're coming from. I always want to be super careful when it comes to changing that sort of stuff. Yeah, you really want to be careful, 100%. Replica, oh, are you still waiting for that computer to come in? Wait, is that when it comes up? Is Wednesday? You're going to have to load and install Windows and all that shit once you build that stuff. It's going to take you forever to get that thing all loaded up. Oh, you're just waiting on the GPU itself. Oh, you just don't have the 3090 yet? $347 miles, guys. 347 miles to go. 53 minutes. We should be on the ground. 361 is the ground speed. 245 indicated. We're making pretty good time. Got an 18 knot tailwind. It's helping us out. Going into Bakersfield, California. Meadow Regional. Oh my God, Replica, are you shitting me right now? Wow. I don't even think you can buy a 3070 off the shelf right now, can you? I didn't think they were even available. I think I'm in the wrong fucking business, that's what I think. Wow, are you shitting me? Seriously? 850? Oof, it's a lot of fucking money. Replica, you weren't here last night when I told everybody. You'll notice I'm not wearing the Sennheisers anymore. I shipped them back because they were trash. Don't buy them. They're too tight on my head. That was one thing. The second thing, they were kind of big and bulky, but the worst thing about them is randomly, when you'd start a program, they would just switch off and not be your sound device anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm using right now, my HyperX Clouds. And the only complaint I have with them is that they shut off too often when I don't have any, if not listening to something and they don't detect sound coming, even though maybe nobody's talking, they just shut themselves off, which I guess is a good thing, but on the other hand, it sucks. Yeah, I did. So I was debating whether I was going to go that route, which were considerably more money. But I think it was an MV5. I think I just got an MV5 instead for the desk at the back. MV7? Maybe it's an MV7. It's a Shure mic. It's pretty nice, actually. Oh yeah, the Steel Series wireless are nice. I just don't think wireless technology is where it should be right now. I really don't think it's where it should be. It's just not where it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? All right, guys, we're going to Beale, 76 out of Beale. That's next. So the Sennheisers were Bluetooth and Bluetooth audio and Bluetooth to your cell phone or something. But the sad part was if you were using one, it wouldn't allow you to use the other. So it's not like you could be going like this and your phone ring and you hit a button and it'll just switch to Bluetooth. But the Bluetooth audio doesn't seem to be as good a quality as the RF ones are. The RF seems to be a lot better quality. Sorry, my wife messaged me. How far from the PC am I? 6.5 feet, maybe 7 feet. But I have the wireless dongle on a little bit of an extension that sort of puts it in the middle of the room. Because the cockpit being all metal, it acts as a shield. So by having it sort of inside the cockpit, it goes to the back computer or to here without any issues. I can actually go outside the garage and still have reception. Engines are good, fuel flows are good, engine temperatures are good, fuel quantity is good, everything's looking good. Cruising along, we got 361 over the ground, 245 indicated. It's not too bad. 306 to the destination, 46 minutes till we arrive, and top of descent approximately 230 miles. So about what, 30 minutes? We should be on our way down into Bakersfield. Meadow Regional. Yeah, God nukes, that's very, very realistic. I can't believe you're still doing that. I'm amazed. Boulder is what we're crossing shortly after Beale. After Boulder will be McCarran, and after McCarran, we're going to turn further south and head straight on down into Bakersfield. Pull what screen closer, Replica? The screen is not moving, sir. Yeah. Projector screen is not going any closer. If it comes closer, then the image gets smaller. Totally not making it any smaller. And the worst part is, if you bring it too close, then your eyes can't focus on it. I've probably got 24 inches to it to the sides, and maybe 48 inches to the front. The worst part is the projector on this side that shines that way is actually hitting the top of the airplane. So actually I kind of need to move that projector a little bit closer so that it doesn't cut off the image like it is. But no, the screen is not moving. The screen is where it is. It's when you're sitting here, everything is just a perfect distance all the way around. Like, we're talking 100% absolutely perfect distance all the way around. It's phenomenal. What I do find, though, is the left and the right images are a little blurrier than the front image. And a little darker, too. Not quite sure why. I'm sure it has something to do with the way that I've got it warped, blended. It probably has something to do with my blend that I'm not doing properly. Miles out of Beale. $45 miles out of Vegas. That's interesting that you say that. It actually would be handy if they did that, yes. It totally would be handy if they could do that. Am I drinking anything different tonight? I'm about to crack open some Bud. No, Gamer Pete, same old, same old. I'm Mr. Boring. Mr. Boring. Replica, I'm sure it could be done, actually, if somebody created a mod for it. I'm sure once they give us access to all those lights and you start seeing people do stuff, that could very easily be done. Because in real life, you can adjust the brightness of them, too, with the mic. Keying it up like 5 times or something like that. Obviously, at more uncontrolled airports, yeah, Muskoka Airport, just probably halfway between me and Toronto, they used to have it as well. Same thing. It saves money, right? They don't have to leave the lights on all the time, consuming hydro. They just, basically, if you need them, you turn them on. Exactly, it totally saves energy. We're 14 miles out of Beale. Vegas is after that. Whoa, a little bit of wind shear there. Thanks, Starflex the second. Good to see you. Appreciate your comments. Well, you can build one. It's not that hard. You just need to get your hands on a real airplane and start making it happen. Exactly. Some budget, some room to do so, and a better half that has no idea or doesn't mind that you're absolutely crazy. Exactly, Boeing Sky Pilot. It starts sitting in a cardboard box making airplane noises while you're using your keyboard and mouse playing Microsoft Flight Simulator version 4. Everybody can relate, Starflex the second, because that's exactly how it starts. And then you go a little bit more and you rip apart an old keyboard and you start putting wires on it and some switches, so whenever you hit the G key, it does the landing gear, and you put a little switch that's just a toggle switch, a momentary, that when you touch it, it just pushes the G on the keyboard. And then you go a little further and you build yourself some kind of a desktop setup where your radios sit on the desk, and you've got yourself a yoke and rudder pedals from Honeycomb or wherever. And then you go to this step. This is the step after that. Yours was crashing into water at FSX. That's super funny, dude. Yeah, exactly, James. We all have the t-shirt to prove it, I think. That's how it starts. That's right. Then you build a 1x1 cockpit cage with monitors. Ah, I see. I did crash into the Bering Sea, but you caused it, Replica. You totally caused it. It was your fault. It was totally your fault, but it was so worth it. But I chickened out after that. Never wanted to fly over any long bits of ocean again. It is always your fault, but that's okay. I'm sure some crabs made use of my airframe when I sunk to the bottom of it. That's okay, James. I happen to know that you ended up in some big winter-looking ocean weather. I think it was last night, actually. Somebody gave you a $10 failure when you were testing it, and you guys lost both engines and center tank fuel, and you and Ray both ended up in the middle of the ocean. Although I was very disappointed that you had crashes turned off. You should have, as soon as you touched the water, you should have immediately crashed. Because I always run out of fuel. My nickname is Captain Running Out of Fuel. Oh, that's super funny. What's funny is I don't know how long it took for you guys to realize that the reason the engine went out was because somebody had donated $8. $8 give you a dual engine failure? Wow. That's a deal, man. I get it, you were testing. I know you guys were testing it, but damn, that's funny. Yeah, it was just, they were just doing it to test the thing. We just crossed Las Vegas, guys, and we've got 234 to go. 33 minutes. We should be on the ground, which puts us at a good time, about 8:30, give or take. Perfect time. Alpenflyger, thank you very much for the follow. Good to see you. I'm writing some intricate stuff for the future right now while watching you. Oh, Replica, are you guys getting some snow? Dude, really? You? Where you live? There's no way. You got as high as 20,000 in the 152. That's crazy. Holy shit, Replica, really? Wow, well done. That's bloody good. Well, honestly, Replica, I didn't figure you guys would ever get that kind of snow. That's crazy. Like, if we were to get 18 inches in one dumping, that would be extremely unusual for us. That would be unusual for me. Oh shit, really? Oh crap, no. We would never get snow like that. We would die if we did. I wouldn't be able to. Actually, I lied. 2 years ago, my wife and I were in Cuba or Dominican, I don't remember which. I think it was Cuba 2 years ago, and while we were gone, it did nothing but snow day after day after day after day. And when we came home, I had asked my buddy to keep the driveway clear, and when we got home, we had a mountain in our front yard. It was crazy. Oh, Maverick, that's funny. No, you definitely have no snow there. Yeah, a bit of a smart ass. Oh, more wind shear. Talking Fahrenheit, Replica? So that's fucking cold. That's like minus 25 Fahrenheit. That's, or 25 Celsius, minus 25 Celsius. That's pretty damn cold. We haven't even been that cold yet. Sucks to be you, dude. You can keep it. That would suck. I would not want it to be that cold here. Actually, we got off really lucky this year. We've been off really, really lucky this year. That's why it can't be on the roof. Yeah, exactly. Because fucking you add the wind chill factor to that, she'd be pretty cold. We're between two cloud layers now, by the looks of things. Oh my God. Starflex a second, -3 Celsius. I mean, it can be cold. I mean, I think I'm running -12 or -14 Celsius right now. It's cool, but I've got the garage out here. I got it set for 75 Fahrenheit, and sometimes I still get cold. Sometimes I just can't get my feet to warm up. In Wichita, did you ever get, you wouldn't, Maverick, you wouldn't get snow in Wichita, would you? A little too far south, or would you actually get snow? You probably, if you did, it's like same latitude, longitude as Indiana, isn't it? Probably rare that you get snow in Kansas. Yeah, they get a lot of tornadoes. So they do get snow in Kansas? I didn't realize they would get snow there. So you get snow and fucking tornadoes in the summer then. That sucks. Doesn't sound like a very safe place to be, that's for sure. Snowy tornadoes? Yeah, wouldn't that be funny? Probably not the best place to be. If it's snowing and you're getting a tornado, it probably wouldn't be nice. Yeah, I think all of us are hoping that. We want an early spring, man. Early spring, please. Would like to have an early spring. That's interesting, Replica, because in Canada they talk about groundhog called Wyerton Willie. And Wyerton Willie is in Sarnia, or near Sarnia, where Drone lives, I believe. I think that's right. 5-4 Delta Charlie, King Air 8 Alpha Kilo.
Yeah, go ahead. Wyerton Willie's up near Tobermory, up in that area.
Oh, is it up by Tobermory? I wasn't sure. I was thinking that, so Perry Sound area. I thought maybe Wyerton was closer to where you were.
No, the Wyerton's up like Collingwood, up that area.
Ah, roger that. I got smart tonight when I connected to POSCON. I disconnected right away and then I reconnected before I even started.
Yeah, so did I.
Seemed to work okay anyway.
Yeah, we're sounding good.
Really? Kansas gets fucking earthquakes? Really? Ah, Boeing Sky Pilot, I have almost given up cigarettes for good. I still do smoke the odd one, but I'm really trying to give it up. So this is my vape now, and keeps all the harsh cigarette shit out of my body. So I'm doing my best to try and quit. I'm doing my best to quit. I haven't completely quit, but I've definitely cut the amount of cigarettes I have in a third, 100%. And I'll cut it back even more. I'm going to succeed one way or another. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I might gain weight, but the thing for me is, if I can at least, like, I was a pack and a half a day, man. If I could at least reduce that to like a half a pack a day or a quarter of a pack a day over the next couple of months, I will be super fucking happy about that. And then by that point, I probably won't even think about having cigarettes that often. I could probably cut it back even further. No, it is not easy. It is not easy, and it will not be easy, but I really want to succeed. I'm done with it. Yes, Replica, my wife does smoke. So you guys get earthquakes in Kansas. That's crazy. I would have never realized that. I'm no replica because actually part of it is I'm out here and she's in the house and she goes outside and I don't see her that often. But when I do go and see her and she's out there, no, it doesn't bother me. She's giving it up too. She's gonna slowly, but she can go all day. She goes to work. She'll have a cigarette on the way to work and then she'll go all day without having a cigarette. Doesn't even bother her. Full work day, she doesn't go out for a smoke, she doesn't do nothing, and then at the end of the day she'll have a smoke on the way home, and that's it. Like, really? I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. You'll sell the rest of the stock in your cigarette companies now? I quit 11 years ago. Vape helped me quit. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm on the nicotine and the vape, and it's definitely helping me a lot. Well, that's it, Replica. I'm at the point where I want to, but I still enjoy it. But I'm at the point where I want to. So because I'm at that point where I want to, it's time to give it up. It is an expensive habit. No texting on stream. Well, it's my wife. My wife messages me, I'm going to respond. Sorry, guys. Well, my wife and work. You guys know I've taken work phone calls before. I have to. Those are the only two. Everybody else can fucking wait. Vape got my mom to quit 9 years ago. Really? Your mom, James? Holy shit, dude. I wouldn't realize a lot of older people don't believe in it or don't want to go down that path, but really all I'm getting here is the vegetable glycerin and the nicotine, right? With the cigarette, you get the benzene, you get the formaldehyde, you get all that other shit, which are the cancer-causing ingredients. The carbon monoxide, all that shit, right? But this, yeah, it's probably still not great for you, but it's a lot better for you than cigarettes. Yeah, so Replica, I was getting a guy to get me cigarettes on the cheap as well, but the problem is, it still costs a shit ton of money. And I was at the point where I would just roll over onto my back at night in bed and I would start coughing for no fucking reason. And that's kind of what told me it was really time to quit, is when you wake up in the morning and it felt like somebody was sitting on my fucking chest, or I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without just about dying. So I said, enough is enough. I have to cut back. Clearly it's like killing me. And it's not like I was reducing. I just kept smoking more and more and more and more, and it was like, oh my god, like this has got to stop. Yeah, Starflex the second, you're 100% right. Seeing the teenagers today that just go out and do this because they think it's cool, that irritates me. But for a tool to be used to help quit smoking, I think it's a benefit, because I definitely have quit smoking in the past, and for me, This is, it's a crutch. Sure, it's a crutch. Absolutely. But for me, this is hugely important. Just to have something in my hand to haul on something, it kind of makes you not think about the other. And I still get the craving, oh, I should have a cigarette. And then if I pick this up, that craving only lasts for 5 minutes. And if I can get through that 5 minutes, then I don't even think about it again till another hour or something goes by. Yeah, so Replica, the reason for that is when the shit they put in the vape is non-natural, that's when you can get that shit. I know 100% what's in these fucking vape juices. I know 100% what's in them. And it's from a reputable place, and I know how they mix it, and I know how they make it. And I would never go buy the cheap shit that you can get off some corner store that you have no idea where the fuck it come from. I'm definitely working on it, James. I mean, and the best part is, if I fail, I will start again. I will definitely quit again. I'm done. I want to be done with it. I'm tired of being chained to a fucking cigarette. I really am. Oh, okay, we're 64 miles from top of descent. I'm tired of being chained to the cigarette. Everything I do, everywhere I go, I always got to make sure I've got a place where I can go and smoke, and I'm getting sick of it. All right, how far are we now? We are 138 miles out and 19 minutes till we're on the ground. Yep. Glass. 100% the real airplane, man. Yeah, well, this one does, but it opens inwards. But because of the way that I designed the window frames, which still have yet to be trimmed out, because of the way that I did the interior, it can't quite open, and I'm not going to cut any more out of it. So no, it doesn't. It opens a little bit, but not too much. This does not open 100%. This one does not. This is a fixed window glass. The windshield is still original. Nope. Just 3 actual monitors. The only iPad is this one that I use. So we're doing the ILS runway 30 right, which matches the METAR. Everything looks pretty good to me. Fasto at 4,500, Jupix at 2,500. The Fasto 2 arrival. Yes, Starflex, that would be super easy to do and absolutely awesome. Okay, we're coming up on PMD. Palmdale. We'll come in straight into Fasto. We're basically going straight in. 30 right, 100%. 111.9. And the approach course.
Top of descent in 50 miles.
Yeah, I have a 3D printer and I have now got a little CNC myself. And 301 is the approach course. Jupix is at 2,500, that's set. To a displaced threshold, which means that slightly different. Starflex the second, you can get a Ender 3, a Creality Ender 3 for a lot cheaper than that. Thanks, James. Take care, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Nice to have you here. Disavow, it's too fucking quiet recently. Doesn't fucking say nothing no more. So like, well, I have a bigger one now, but the fuel panel that I have next to me, can't really see it because the one camera I've got shut off might be the cause of my frame rate issues, is I actually printed it in 2 halves, and the 2 just stick together. This switch panel that's down here, this was also printed in 2 halves. Each of these were done on a printer that's the same size as the Ender 3. The bezels, no. The bezels around here, I had a friend CNC those, but I actually could build those on my existing CNC. The autopilot panel, I had a friend in the UK actually CNC the face, but then this actual box that it's plugged into, that was 3D printed. I use a 3D printer for a lot of the stuff that I've got in here. 300 by, what is it, 300 by 300? I mean, that's basically a foot by a foot, dude. Actually, it's 8 inches by 8 inches by 7.5 inches or something like that. Nope. So Starflex the second, if you register it, go to tinkercad.com. It's made by Autodesk. It's a free online tool. You can use it to draw. You basically can draw a box and then put a box hole inside of it. Real easy. And then when you're done, you save that file, load that into the slicer and press print, and away it goes. It's pretty easy. CNCs are a lot different. I've been fucking around with my CNC the last couple of days, trying to just teach myself how it works, and it's a little different. And it's a struggle, but I'm getting there. And I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. But with 3D printing, when you draw something, you're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. It takes time, but there's an awful lot that you can do with it. All right, guys, we got to be coming up 25 miles now to top of descent. Let's get this all set up and see if we can do something with it. 2,500 here. Let's go with this. Let's go with this. Beechcraft, Starflex the second. Project Magenta Maverick. I'm using Project Magenta software configured in a ProLine 21 configuration with the KingAir 350i performance data installed in them. Figure 8, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, so Starflex, that's a good starter printer till you get used to 3D printing, because it's not like a laser printer where you just hit print and, you know, an object comes out. There's a lot of lessons to be learned with 3D printing. You can get warping on the bed. Your bed's got to be perfectly level. How much to extrude, how little to extrude. There's a lot of fucking around with it. But basic, just create a shape, load it in the printer and print. It's not that bad. But there's a lot of learning that goes around that has to do with that. So start small. Go get yourself an Ender 3. It's a great little printer. and it gives you a lot to learn from, and the best part is you can build a lot of things with it.
Number 3614 for 10 miles. Get them right.
Ha, Starflex. Well, you should have showed up in yesterday's stream and asked the same fucking question. I would have answered you. Oh, he's getting his predictions in. You forgot the minus. You forgot the minus, Replica. So you probably can't see it. That's my trim wheel right here. And that is also 3D printed. I have it on a servo, on a stepper motor, so that my electric trim moves it or the autopilot trim moves it. That's what that is. Oh, it's called Tinkercad. Tinkercad. Just go open a browser and go to tinkercad.com. Super easy. They store your files for you forever. You never have to worry about it. It's all working with primitives, and it's real easy. You basically just take one object, put it to another, select them both, and join it, and it'll remove what was in the other. It's real easy to figure out. That's what I do all my drawing in. The hardest thing for you is going to be to convert everything to millimeters. You're going to have to get used to using millimeters. You can make it inches, but it's not accurate enough. You're going to have to learn how to do things in millimeters. Oh, fuck, wait a minute. You said you're from New Zealand. I'm an ass. As you were typing that, I was fucking saying the same thing. I was like, wait a minute, he's from New Zealand. Of course they use fucking millimeters. All right, guys, we're in the turn. Down we go. 80 miles. Actually, Starflex, a second, you have another option. In New Zealand, there's a company by the name of Ruscool Electronics. R-U-S-C-O-O-L. Ruscool Electronics. Those fucking guys are great. Email them, tell Dean that I sent you. And you can look at their website. They've got an awful lot of really cool products that they offer right on their website. And they're not that expensive. My lower panels came from Ruscool. My annunciator panel on the top and the one on my throttle quadrant came from Ruscool. Oh, and my overhead. My overhead and my lower overhead, those also came from Ruscool. How's it going, Ghoul? Good to see you, guy. Guys, we're on our descent now into Bakersfield, Meadow Regional Airport. It's time to get your predictions in. If you haven't predicted yet, get them in. Get those predictions a-going. Gamer Pete coming in with a minus 60. Oh shit. Starflex the second thinks it's going to be a hard one at minus 250. You must have been. Are you sure you weren't watching yesterday's landing? Because that would have won you last year or yesterday. Yesterday that would have been great. I'm a man of many landings. Yeah, sometimes they go good and sometimes they go bad. It's hard to say. Three 010. Excuse me. The mountains are ahead. All right, let's see what frequency we need to be on. Bakersfield, CTAF 118.1, and KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo, we're over 118.1 over to CTAF. Have a good night. Yep, I do. 100%. I just changed scenes, otherwise you would have seen them. So that's the outside shell. 3 projectors going around, more than 180 degrees. Probably would be 200 probably if the game supported it, but it doesn't. So we do the best we can. Meadow traffic, KingAir November 38 Alpha Kilo. We're descending through 15,000 to 3,500. Straight in, runway 30 right, full strop, Meadow. Looking pretty good so far, folks. Seatbelt signs are coming on. Auto feather, auto ignition are on. Guys, if you haven't made your predictions, now's the time to get them in. All right, let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of the autopilot. $2,500 at JUPEX, that's what we're targeting. Pretty sure that's what it was. Yes, $2,500 at JUPEX. We're 40 miles out from the airport. Ricky Bobby, how's it going? Good to see you. Dual okay. Thanks for coming back, man. Good to see you. All right, yaw dampers going off. We should do our descent checklist. Pressurization is set, cabin altitude is set, rate control is set. Altimeters are set. Cabin signs are on, windshield anti-ice is on, that is correct. Prop anti-ice and the brake de-ice is on. Whoops, careful. Window defog is on, fuel is balanced, that is true. Cabin equipment is positioned. All seats are in their forward and fully upright positions. We don't have lateral tracking seats. Doesn't matter. Tables are stored. High definition monitors were not used on this flight. Not required. The approach speeds, we need to put those in. That we have not done. Route data. Performance. Approach. VREF. We've got VREF up on the PFD now. That's good. Thanks for the follow, Ricky Bobby. Good to see you, bud. All right, JUPEX at 2,500 is what we're trying to target. And we're coming up 25 miles now. Meadow traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo, 25 miles. Inbound ILS 30 right, full stop, Meadow. 15 miles, we start bracing. Is that what happens? It's possible. If you'd seen last night's landing, it was definitely a requirement to brace. All right, bring that down to 5. Bring that down to 10. All right, seatbelt signs are on. Auto feather, auto ignition. And when we're 10 miles out, we'll go to approach flap. Landing lights. It's kind of nice flying straight in like this. Meadow traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo. We're 18 miles. Inbound to land, runway 30 right, full stop. Meadow traffic. 118.1, that is the right frequency, right? CTAF 118.10. That's correct. Four Delta Charlie, KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So, Starflex, the second you wanted to know when we're 15 miles, we're 16 miles now. So if you want to brace, now would be the time. All right, here we go. 1 notch flap going out.
Metal Steel on November 54 Delta Charlie is on a final for 36 right, and we're 5 miles from Moscow.
All right. Meadow traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo, 10 mile final, runway 30 right, full stop, Meadow. Gamer Pete, it'll be better than last night. Let me just put it that way. I hope. Seven miles, I guess.
2,500.
All right, gears coming down. Gear down 3 green. Yes, 100%. If you group them, so if you take 2 objects and you group them together, you need to make sure though that there's no gaps. So like if you put 2 boxes side by side and group them together, but you can see an air gap, it's going to print them as 2 separate pieces. They have to be joined. If they're joined in Tinkercad, 100% zoom right the fuck in. If they're zoomed in and they're joined and you join them, then yes, they will print as a solid object or as a together object. You get to choose with the slicer. When you print it, you get to choose what percentage of infill to use, whether 100% being a completely solid piece of plastic that uses quite a bit of plastic, or you can do something that's like 10%, which lets you do like, what do they call that? What's it called when you make a prototype? Prototyping, you use like 10% infill. It's not going to be very strong, but it prints real fast and it tells you what it's like. Meadow traffic, KingAir November 30 Alpha Kilo. We're on a 2.5 mile final, runway 30 right, full stop, Meadow. All right, full flaps coming down.
Meadowfield traffic, November 54 Delta Charlie is on a 13-mile final for 36 right.
Well, I don't do anything half-assed, Starflex. I like to, we're just a little below VREF, fuck. I like to, if I'm going to do something, I like to do it the way I want it. KingAir probably wouldn't. Maybe the 350i would have a power trim wheel in it. For sure it does, because I got the trim wheel switches, but I don't know if it physically spin the knob. I'm not 100% sure, but fuck it. I'm going to build it like it would. This is the offset threshold that they were talking about.
Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, fuck. That was butter.
November 54 Delta Charlie is on a 5-mile final. Get off the runway.
You're good. KingAir 8 Alpha Kilo, we're clear of the active 30 right, Meadow. I want to spin around here and see if we can watch drone. Watch drone land. Yeah, very long threshold, which makes it real easy to land. Son of a bitch, minus 53? Woot, that was butter. Way better than last night's. Way better than last night's. That was really nice. Thanks, Disavowed, appreciate it. By the way, I've been talking to you, but you didn't answer me. Look at this, drone's coming in. He's doing the same thing I did. Let her glide, buddy. Let her glide. This can be gorgeous. Fuck a Premier. We love that. Premier jet. Oh. Lots of runway. We didn't get to see him land. He was too high, but yep, absolutely ill. It's called Sim Toolkit Pro. And it's a fantastic piece of kit. It's written by a gentleman who is an amazing contributor to the community. His name is Dan. And he is by far an incredible individual. Because he provides the software and he provides it for free. It does. It's basically
Airbus 319, 100 miles southeast Bakersfield. The landing amount for 30 right Bakersfield.
Motor traffic, November 54 Delta Charlie is clear of the active 36.
Sweet. 30. 30.
Right.
Affirmative. 30 right. You're still 100 miles out. Why didn't you put the gas pedal down? That's awesome. For those of you that don't know, that is the owner of POSCON. He's an amazing individual as well, doing this for the community, giving them another option when it comes to online ATC and online networks. Oh yeah, sorry, 15 nut PUBG. I just saw your message there. Yeah, I'm sitting in a real airplane that's been converted for flight sim. We'll spin around here. Good parking spot. See if I don't think it's strong enough to do that. No, it's not. Parking brake is set. Flaps are up. Generator going off. Well, that's interesting. Huh. That's very interesting. Why is the auto feather flashing like that? There we go. Bleeds and blowers are off. Fuel heat, prop heat, windshield heat, pitot heat, brake de-ice, taxi lights are off. Rec hogs are off. Tail light is off. Second generator is off. Avionics are off. Master caution. Shut down. Seatbelt signs. Props feathered. Nice flight, 5-4 Delta Charlie. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good flight.
Do you have a new airplane, a favorite?
No, I still like the 350.
Captain, thank you very much for the follow. Good to see you. All right, airplane is secure and shut down. Parking brake is set. We will not shut the battery off as it causes some other weird thing to happen. Guys, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us. Disavowed, have you got somebody for us to go and see tonight?
Yeah, I think we'll go over to see BW flight simulation.
Sweet. Sounds good to me. For those of you who will be streaming that are new here and don't know the routine, we'll be streaming again on Wednesday. And Wednesday, it will be another departure from this amazing place. And we're going to go Wednesday night, 23:30 hour Zulu. We're going to go somewhere else that's nice and fun. We always leave the airport that we arrive in, with some crazy exceptions. Thank you very much for the follow, Eminence Official. That's awesome. Good to have you guys here. We're going to head over and see BW Flight Simulation. I'd like you to do me a favor and give that gentleman a follow and say hello at least. We're going to head over there right now. And a big thank you to Drone and to the aircraft that is now coming in, Mr. AJ. Thank you very much for flying along with us. I love it. It's absolutely incredible. Over to BW Flights, Robert 22 and Starflex the second. Thank you very much for the follow, guys. Let's go see B-Dubs. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you all later.